I had a call from one of my brothers who recently came back from Ghana. He went on a trip to Ghana. Then he was like, "Hey, Adai, all this while I thought people in Africa don't like us. He is an African American or a black American. He was born and raised here." He said, "All this while, Adai, I thought you guys in Africa don't like us." And I honestly, I didn't even know about that. So I decided to do a little bit of digging into whatever he was telling me in terms of research to see what is going on. And what I found out was that there have been a lot of videos, especially from our fellow African American brothers and sisters here, telling themselves that Africans don't like them. He said African likes white people in America here than their own fellow African American brothers who were born in and raised in the United States here. Then remember, all our children who were also born here, who have been born here, who will be born here, are we also going to hate them? No. This is a common misconception and that I need to address so that I know I have a lot of people here that will also learn from this experience. He was very excited. The welcome and everything was great. So he was so surprised as to why he was treated very nice when he went on a trip to Ghana. But then, before going to Ghana, he had the perception because of what he has been told that Africans don't like black Americans. This is the deal. Africans, especially, I'm using myself as an example. Africans who travel from Africa to the United States here, we speak few words. We don't speak too much. We are mostly quiet. We are very, very observant, right? And in a society, especially like United States here, if you don't speak too much, if you don't want to speak, if you are always quiet and observant, it is translated as you lack confidence. Most people sometimes think Africans who came from Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana to the United States don't have confidence. It's not because they don't have confidence, it's because they don't talk too much. We don't use slangs. You know, there are slangs that people use here in the United States. Somebody who just came to the United States don't use slangs. If he only came here for school, his his only focus is about going to school. And then because Africans don't talk too much, especially me, for instance, if you invite me for a dinner, know that we are only talking about the dinner. There are some few occasions that we will talk a little bit about something around us, but it's only about the dinner. If I invite you or if you invite me for a flight, we are only talking about aviation. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Africans see it as whenever they are talking too much, they are they are not comfortable. Me, for instance, especially when I was in school, I'm always quiet. When we go to class, I see a lot of people chatting. Hey, Joe, what's up? What's going on? People are talking about their families, their girlfriends, how they are having sex, how they are going out on vacation. They are planning their vacations. Even while they are in school, they are, it's very nice. It's very fun if you understand what they are doing. But those days, I didn't even understand what they are talking about. And then they want me to, they want to, all of us, they want to invite me into the conversation. Honestly, I don't know whatever is going on. My only focus is in school to focus, pay attention to my books, my classes, my assignments to get them done on time. I mean business. Now, people are chatting in school, and I am always quiet, sitting at the back or the first two rows seat. Either I choose the back or the second row. So, all right, teacher comes in class. My teacher asks questions, right? Most of the time, I am one of the guys to raise my hands and answer the question. There are some times when the teacher will ask a question in class, and then the class will become very quiet. When the class is quiet, I raise my hands and say something, even if I don't get it right, it's close to the answer. Now, my teachers likes me so much because I am always answering questions. Now, I was in school because I needed to learn, not because of chatting and all. It's good to make friends and build your connections. I have friends all over the world. There is time for me. There is time for everything. I have friends all over the world. I always try to make sure that they are treated right. I can even sacrifice what I have for my friend. That is me. I love that is how much I love people. I can sacrifice what I have for somebody. Right. My teachers likes me because I get my assignments done on time. I answer the questions in class for the most of part. I answer the questions in class. Now my students, my friend, my colleagues, black Americans came to me. Hey Adai, now we know that you are smart. That is why you don't want to have anything to deal with that because you think you are better than us. There is a common misconception that Africans who came from Ghana, Nigeria, or whatever to the United States here think they are better than the African Americans who were born and raised here. That is never true. It's because me, I am always observant, right? So I have to sit them down and explain the reasons why it is like that. Whenever you guys are chatting, most of the time I don't even understand the slangs anyway. I speak my English straight up, nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. If it's about my physics, all I'm talking about is my physics, my school project. If I am working on an engine, I'm dealing with that specific engine. The engine is already complicated for me anyway, so I needed to pay attention to whatever is going on. Anything else, I'm not interested. So if people are like that, and all of a sudden you are not talking in class, you are not talking to them and whatever, and then all of a sudden your teachers likes you, then it's beginning to cement the argument that it is true that the whites likes my teacher. Jeff was white. I even have pictures with my teachers. I value and I respect my teachers because to be a teacher is not an easy job, having to do with flight instructors, having to do with my lecturers in school. I value all my teachers. I value their effort. I value their impact on my life because to be a teacher is not an easy job. If because I see that in my teachers also likes me. Apart from me answering most of the questions in class, then I have to educate my friends to let them know that it is not because I think I am better than them. It is not because I think I am smarter than them. It is because I mean business. I mean, when I'm talking about my calculus, I am dealing with my calculus. It is time for my calculus, nothing else. When I'm talking about my physics, it is time for my physics, nothing else. That is me. Whenever I sense something is not right, I don't protest. I don't make noise. I am quiet, very silent, observe the situation for some time, and then take my decisions right away. So I was educating him a little bit about. We had a long conversation today, and I did my research as well, and I found out there are so many videos out there. Since he is a leader in the army, and I'm educating him on how to deal with Africans. It is not because they are not confident. Me, I am a very perfect hunter. I can kill animals. I can kill birds flying with a catapult. I can fish. Right. So it is not because Africans don't have confidence. If the society sees them that they don't have confidence, and then if especially in America here, if people begin to realize that you are not speaking, it means you don't have confidence. And if you don't have confidence, you may be treated some way that you don't like because you are not able to speak up. But Africans, the fact that they are not speaking up means that they are observing. There are two things. It's either you are talking too much about the problem, or you are very silent and observant, paying attention to how to solve the problem. That is the two sides. And they are both good. Talking can bring ideas to solve the problem. Paying attention and being observant can also lead into developing techniques that can solve the. They are both good. But that does not mean Africans don't like our fellow African American brothers here. And I am very, very excited for his experience as he returned back from Ghana on his holidays. And I know that my little education that I gave him is going to help him as to how to deal with the Africans that he is going to meet in the military. And he's also going to carry the message along. We like Africans, they welcome everybody, either Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, they welcome everybody, but they don't talk too much. We have been raised, especially the African guys or the men, we have been raised to observe. We have been raised to speak few words, especially if an elderly person is in the midst. In our midst, if an elderly person is present, we let them do all the talking and we pay attention to, in order to avoid confusion. And we carry that along. That is something that I have realized. Especially in the working environment, if I am always showing up to work, I am not talking too much, I'm able to focus and do my job. Sometimes some people may think that you think you are better than them because you don't want to join them to party or whatever or do whatever that you feel you don't want to. Because, for instance, I have my friends. I invited them. We are flying. We are in the air, and they are asking me questions about Africa. Then I tell them that, hey man, it is not a time to talk about Africa. It's a time to talk about aviation. Let us focus on it. If you say you want to go to flight school, you say you want to begin a flight program. It is the time to focus on flight program. It's the time to talk about aviation physics. It's the time to talk about how the engine is running. While I am also flying, I am listening to the sound of the engine in my airplane. While I am not only just focusing on the instruments to fly the airplane, but I am also listening to the sound of the engine. So even if something is going wrong, I will catch it before the instrument tells me. I'm listening to the sound of the engine. While I am climbing and descending, I am listening. You see what I'm saying? So that is how we were raised. That does not mean that we are antisocial. No, we socialize very well, and I think this is I'm gonna do this to help, especially those people in the military who have those perceptions. The videos that I have seen today, I was very shocked, and then I realized none of my people from who came from Africa is saying anything about it. It's all the video that I'm seeing are our fellow African American brothers and sisters here telling people, telling themselves why Africans who came from Africa to the United States don't like them. We like everyone. Me, I like everybody. I call them, hey bro, let's go eat, let's go do this. But if we are going to eat, then it's about food. It's not a time to talk about some your past girlfriend. It's not that I don't want to get. I don't have to have anything to do with that. That is how we were raised. So I'm saying. So people who are not talking too much may seem that they don't have the confidence. Sometimes it may seem that they are ignorant. They are not ignorant about the subject. Maybe they are not just interested. Maybe they don't have to do anything with it. Maybe they are thinking about the project at hand. If I'm dealing with you in terms of business and I already printed on my checklist and it's time for me to do an inspection and I'm doing my inspection, nothing else. We are talking about until the inspection is done, nothing else. If I realize something is always getting on my way, man, I'm gone. That most Africans are like that. So if you are dating an African guy, you should observe them very well. If you are dating an African woman who was born and raised in Africa, that is how they behave. It doesn't mean that they don't like African Americans who were born and raised in the United States here, because they also gonna give some of them are giving birth to their children here in the United States. So does that mean they will turn around and hate their own children because they were born and raised here? No, this is a societal misconception that is going on out there. We need to learn how to understand different people from different walks of life. That is me. That is how I have a big connection all over the world. I try to understand people. I ask questions, right? And then I stay back. I give them a lot of time to speak. The only time that you see me speaking too much is when it is about business, when I am in school, when I am in a meeting, when we are sharing ideas about some projects. Yeah, for that time, I will speak a lot. That I have prepared for that specific occasion. If something is coming that does not concern me too much, I am not worried about it. So after educating my friend, he was like, "Oh wow, that's what it is." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's exactly what it is." Africans have no business of hating our brothers and sisters who were born and raised here as Black Americans in the United States. We love everyone, but that is what it is. You don't talk too much. They stay back. They are very quiet. It is easy for you to try to take advantage of them because they are not talking too much, because they are very silent, but they are observing. The day that they will take actions, it was going to be very scary. That is who they are. All right. So I love all of you guys. I am very, very excited that he had a very nice, great experience on his trip in Ghana. That also led me into this investigation of as to how Africans hating their own African brothers and sisters born and raised in the United States. I was like, no, bro, it doesn't make sense. Let me do a research and see what is happening. Okay, all right. I love all of you guys.